Hey guys, John Barrett here at johnbarrettleadership.com. Hey, the other day I did a blog post called Ground Your Communication. And the whole idea is that if you want to be a great leader, then you've got to be a great communicator. But in order to be a great communicator, you've got to make sure that your words really stick and get through to people. Well, so many times our words don't. They just kind of float off. And just like an electrical current needs to be grounded, we've got to let our communication get grounded. How do you do that? Well, there's three things I want you to think about. When you're talking to people, whether it's one-on-one or in a group, if you really want to validate what you're saying and really ground your communication, one thing I'd encourage you to do is use quotes. That's right, other people that have done incredible things, whether it's an author or a speaker or somebody in your industry that's respected, I encourage you guys to use a quote from them. So before you say something, you might back it up by saying, hey, Patrick Lencioni talked about the 5 dysfunctions of a team, and he said this line: trust is the foundation of all leadership. So in the light of that, what I want to talk today is about building trust, and I want you guys to know that you can trust me what I'm about to tell you and what I'm going to say to you. Now, just doing something like that may ground your communication to get people in the right frame of mind to say, wow, that's right, that's a good thought. We probably need to listen about this trust thing. So use a quote from somebody that's respected in your industry before you deliver some sort of communication. The other idea is maybe a book or a principle that you've read about. Maybe something that you pulled from a book or some sort of concept that you read about. So sitting down with your team or one-on-one and saying, hey, the other day I was reading about this and it's an incredible concept and I want us to think about this before I go into what we're going to talk about. So just by simply doing that, you can get everybody to kind of agree. And sometimes when you bring that principle up that's tried and true and tested, it validates what you're getting ready to say. So use different principles and get through resources that you've kind of come through and pull things out of those and use those in your communication. The last thing I want you to think about is use other people's words against them. And I don't mean that in a negative way by any means, but when somebody has said something, use their words. So if you're talking with somebody and say that they were talking about how they really want to go to the next level in what they do and they just feel like they're not giving their all or whatever it is, you might be able to sit down with them and say, hey, I want to hold you accountable on some things. You said the other day that you want to go to the next level and you really feel like you're not really reaching your potential to the fullest. Well, in the light of that, I was thinking about that, and I think there's something I want you to start doing that I think is going to impact you. And it's going to require a lot more effort on your part. Are you willing to do that so that you can get to the next level? See, notice how when I communicated there, I'm just using that person's words to maybe even deliver something that I wanted to tell them. So I want to encourage you, ground your communication. However you do it, I'm sure there's other ways that you'll probably even think of because you're much smarter than I, so you can kind of come up with some better ways to do it. But I just want to encourage you, whenever you're communicating, ground it before you deliver your message so that it begins to validate it and give it more meaning and more substance behind it. So that's your tip for the day. Go check out johnbarrettleadership.com for some other great things. Thanks, guys.